But Depressiana, as a general aspect.
Depressiana Michelle Nicole's fucking, like...
that bitch.
Yeah, she's a whore. Who are you now, as opposed to who you are when you're not battling seasonal depression?
If you can tell by my attire, I'm dressed in all black today. This is not only because it is comfortable and it's easier to layer, but I am a reflection of the season. I am a naturally sunny person. And when I do not get the adequate amount of sunshine, I'm a wilted flower. The good thing is that I can recognize that. And I recognize that sunshine, if you will, that vitamin D does not only just come from the sun.
Oh my God.
Recognizing where I can get that energy from, whether it be from people, whether it be from music, whether it be from my own body and self, is just, that took work.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about seasonal... Here's the thing about depression.
Yeah, let's not even narrow it down to seasonal, but we are in that.
We're not going to give her government name.
Yeah.
But Depressiana, as a general aspect.
Depressiana Michelle Nicole's fucking, like...
that bitch.
Yeah, she's a whore. She's a whore.
The thing about depression that no one tells you, people think depression is sadness. Depression is a disconnection with self.
Yeah. Depression
is autopilot. Depression is existing and surviving without thriving. And you can't recognize the depth of the hole until you finally look up. It's like a state of colorlessness.
It's like, you know what I mean? So
it's my first marriage.
And I get it. I get it because I do feel like my entire immediate family suffers with clinical depression. You know what I mean? But more specifically when it comes to seasonal depression, especially living in a place like Michigan, where you got to fight for a couple good weather days, you feel me? And
what's that scene in The Wiz?
What? Brand new day. And that is exactly how a Detroit summer day feels. Like when I tell you,
bump summer.
I be wanting to quit.
That first 50-degree day in April.
No, for real. I be wanting to quit my job. Like I don't need this. I need to be outside.
The tulips be coming out the grass
this
a little
bit.
This
is what I'm saying. So it's like we have to grasp, we have to hold on so tight to any little bright spot, you know what I mean, living in a place like this specifically, on top of whatever you may be dealing with.
We're not supposed to live this far north.
That part too. But and then it just becomes like, okay, so more specifically seasonal depression, and I'm just recognizing like you said, I'm like this wilted flower that's like, please, just a little sunshine. And like you said, we have to pull from these different sources, which are family, which is love, which is music, which is God, which is projects. You know what I mean?
Why do you think so many holidays happen in the winter? It's community.
Yes. Something needs to be happening or absolutely nothing is going to happen.
Don't get mad at me.
Uh-oh. I'm about to get mad.
I know. I already know. I was alone for Thanksgiving.
What? Thanksgiving? I was here! I could see if you was like, this Thanksgiving, I really want to be by myself. I don't want to do anything. If it was like, that's just what happened, I'm not fucking with it.
I messaged Ashley Crystal and I said, I need for people to understand, it is not a holiday if I'm not in some old lady's kitchen while they gossiping and I'm in charge of chopping stuff. Oh. Like, what is the point?
But you know what? I saw a post recently that basically called us out and was like, we are sitting around waiting for, we are sitting around sad because we don't have those old vibes. We are the vibe now.
No, we're not. They skipped the generation.
No.
My mama don't do nothing.
And guess what?
Her generation don't do nothing. It's on us now.
Exactly.
But I do think that even though we don't have that familiar feeling, we do that with friends.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like,
where do you think all these Friendsgivings came from?
Oh my God.
People needed that. Friendsgiving was not by like happenstance. Friendsgiving is it's almost like a trauma bond. I hate to say it.
You know what?
Oh damn. Oh, is Friendsgiving a trauma bond?
It is the family that we make. It is the family that we chose.
Oh my God. A good trauma bond, I guess. Because I mean
it may be the result of it, but it's not necessarily a negative.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
It's a collective healing of the same trauma.
Exactly. Oh, I feel like on Red Table, you know how they like, because it's so good. It's just so good. No, but honestly, I have been feeling, it's like being trapped inside of yourself. And I'm literally like clawing my way back out. Like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop my merch. I'm going to go live. I'm going to like be productive. I'm going to do these projects. I'm going to pop my shit. I want to be fine. I'm about to get in the gym. I'm about to da-da-da-da. And I just like, I'll have all these thoughts. And then moments later, I'm like, I'm not doing shit.
I'm going to let you know, I had a dream last night.
Okay.
And our favorite cousin visited me. Not Aqua, but Keith Lee. Me and Keith Lee had a conversation in my dream. Keith Lee prophesied to me as if he was Tabitha Brown. And I told him that on December 12th, 24, was going to be my start date. Because we had a conversation about him a year ago. And I told him I saved that video that I watch it every now and then. Just, this is where I'm at. But I'm going to let you know in 365 days, it's not where I'm going to end up at. And the craziest thing, we're in a theme park of all places. And I'm like, hey, cousin. You're like, oh, Detroit, what's up?
Not a theme park.
A water park at that. No one
I was about to say, was it Cedar Point? It clearly wasn't Cedar Point.
So in the dream, we're at this water park. I see him. We're talking about just random things. And I mentioned the video to him of where he was sitting in the Paw Patrol chair. And he was like, I'm just going to dedicate my life to this one thing. And I was like, I saved that, and every now and then I go back to it because I need to live in that future that I promised myself. I need to, everything that I do, any energy that I displace today has to be energy towards this goal. Yeah. And I recognized that I was making goals too vague. I want to be a successful writer. No. I want to sell this many copies of my book by this date. I want to have this number of subscribers by this date.
Intention.
I want to have this much money in my bank account by this date.
Intention. And I'm about to show you something that's so crazy because I got more serious about intention. I didn't just say, hey, I want to be big on YouTube. I said 1,000 YouTube subscribers by such and such. Oh, 2,000 by this date. 7K in savings in this date. 5K by this time, 10K by this time. Like, I was putting numbers, something, like, not something. God was on me, like, no, don't be so vague. What do you want?
We don't recognize the divinity in ourselves and the fact that we can really shape our realities, but we have to, again, be intentional and specific about what that reality looks like. Yeah. Because you can get what you want.
You can get it.
But it ain't going to be how you want it.
For me, it became so important to, like you said, be more specific. Don't be so vague. And I made a video about that when I was like, be specific. Tell them what you want. Because I kept saying, oh, I want this. I want these doors open if I want this. I want this. I said, oh. And then I forgot to ask for some energy to go with it. I'm tired as hell. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get specific. I can be very vague. Like, I want to do this. And it's like, break it down, though. Break down the numbers. Break down. And then honestly, once you break it down, sometimes you'll be like, well, maybe I don't want that. Well, maybe I don't. Once you start crunching numbers and thinking about the details of things, you might realize you really don't even want it like you thought you did.
I think that I used to daydream a lot as a kid, and I didn't recognize that everything I daydreamed about, I got. And I don't know if it's because as a child or as a young adult, you don't have so many distractions, and you can focus that energy more. Right. I recognize, and I had to give myself grace for this, I done been through a lot.
I done been through some shit.
Just this year alone with the cousins, and then I had this thought on Thanksgiving. I was like, you be so mad at me just sitting here wallowing. Like, I can hear my cousin yelling at me like, okay, I get you grieving and all, but bitch, get up.
Like, are you serious?
Like, what are you doing?
Are you for real? That's what Kamarri said. And most of us hear that from those loved ones or whatever the case may be. But specifically, Kamarri said she heard that from 40. She was like, you knew 40, and you knew he wasn't having that shit. You knew he was gonna be like, get your ass up, get out this house.
This is the last Christmas present Andria gave me, and she didn't write anything in it. And I wish she had, but I also get why she didn't. Because you don't know what the memory is going to be in that moment. Right. You don't recognize that this is what you're going to need it to be. But, and I hate when the elders are right. Sometimes, baby, you just got to keep on living.
That part. Man, you know how many times I've come to that conclusion? Like, damn, they was right. Once I kept living a little bit, I saw exactly what they were saying.
And the thing about grief is everyone experiences it, but no one understands it till they went through it. And then everyone's experience is going to be different.
Right.
But intense grief is just the absence of the physical embodiment of love. The deeper the grief, the more love was there. And knowing that is, for one, you were able to experience that is a beautiful thing.
Right.
Two, don't get buried with them.
That part. And that's the voice that you hear from them. You are not here with me. You are not on this side. Please stay in the land of the living and live.
At my cousin's funeral, I watched them lower her, and I remember my other cousin was like, "Don't stay here too long," and I didn't get it. I'm like, okay, it's the 80-year-old lady. She's just saying, don't. But no, don't stay here too long.
Don't stay here too long, because you will stay here too long. If you stay here too long, you will stay here too long. Like, that's literally a word. I used to get so upset when people wouldn't go to a funeral or wouldn't go to a gravesite, and they're like, I just don't want to. And I'm like, that's so disrespectful. Like, you don't love them. You don't this. And then I kept on living. And I just understand that everybody doesn't want that to be their last memory. Everybody doesn't want to, be in this community of grief. Like, that's not everybody's thing. Also, as I got older, I realized I don't really want that for myself. I don't even want a funeral anymore. Like, I'm not even gonna say I don't want a funeral. I definitely, absolutely do not want to be in a casket. I do not want people standing over me.
After party.
What I want is to be burnt up. Burn me up. I haven't even decided, because at first I was like, oh, I want a nice shiny gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be put in a gold like a statue. And then I was like, I don't even know if I want that. I don't even want people to have to carry that around and
to carry that around.
To carry that, you have to take that urn everywhere you go. I remember we moved and we couldn't find my grandmother's urn and we freaked out. And I was just like, that's sick. That's sick. Like, we are trapped. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now I'm to the point where those things, I'm not going to say I'm so far removed from them, because that's not true, but I'm removing myself from those things that are just like, how does that make sense? You know what I mean? I get, like, remembering your loved one and all these type of things, but it becomes like this, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I feel like it's like a form of, like,
torture?
Worship.
Ooh.
People get a kick out of, like, that, the whole process of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I gotta show up with my vest on. I'm gonna stand outside with my shades on and cry. Like, it
becomes a bit more performative
than
anything.
It's like, it's a stage at some point. Like,
I would say church is a stage, but we ain't ready for that conversation.
Oh my God, the world is a stage. The world is a stage. No, but it is, like you said, it's becoming too performative to me, to the point where I get upset because I'm like, you're not doing this for them.
She ain't even like you.
She didn't even like you. And don't get me wrong, because I know a lot of people come to funerals with guilt more than anything. They're breaking down over guilt more than anything, for real. Y'all are performers. I'm not saying y'all not hurt, but a lot of this is not about them. It's about you.
Also, are we taught how to grieve?
Absolutely not. Are we taught anything?
Yeah.
I've been feeling around in the dark since before I can remember. I've been trying to figure shit out since shit been able to be figured out.
Like, one great thing about our generation is that we are very honest, that we have no idea what the fuck we're doing.
Absolutely.
And I think in that honesty, we're more prepared to look for answers. Mm-hmm. We're more prepared to dig and work on ourselves.
Yeah.
Because just because we are of a certain age does not mean we're grown.
I'm trying to tell you,
this
is the most childish era of adults.
Listen, we have to be. Yeah. Because we've been through so much, we have to laugh. We don't take nothing seriously.
And I see people say that online, like, y'all think everything is funny.
No, we laugh to keep from crying.
I don't want to cry all day, all week, all year. I found this little baby online this morning. Just stumbled across his page. And he's like a little baby chef. He helps his mom cook. And his name is Ollie. And he's just so cute in his cheeks. And I sat there for like 20 minutes and watched his cooking videos, because I feel like I need this little piece of joy right now. Like, this is pure joy. I want to be more intentional about that as well. Like, stop for those little moments of joy, because we deal with a lot of shit. And this is coming from two childless women. This is coming from two Childless women.
But you know what's so funny? We are childless, but we are the most mothering people I know.
Oh my God. Now that's a word. I'm not gonna lie. But I do always like to be clear that I understand. I still can't understand what it's like to be a mother. I want to be clear that I won't understand what it's like until I actually bear a child. You know what I mean? So
it's something about having your heart outside your body.
Oh my God. But what I will say is, I said all that to say, like, we know the bullshit that we go through and how we have a hard time dealing with certain things. Imagine you sliding down a fucking wall and here come your baby like, mama,
so chicken nuggets?
Mama, don't know nothing is, you know what I mean? Like, they don't give a damn. Time has to keep going for them. So that's why I'm like, that's my whole thing. We all going through something.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Oh my God. We recorded our first